This week, we welcome our special guest, Emma Viktorsson. In our Debonair Ideal, we're going to talk about cigar names. And in Stogies of the Week, we're going to review cigars from Drew Estate, Caldwell Cigar Company, Davidoff, Rocky Patel, Crowned Heads, and more. So stay tuned. This is a Security Weekly production. Brought to you by paying homage to the Mecca of tobacco, Pinar del Rio, Cuba. Abe Flores opened his PDR cigar factory in the Dominican Republic over 10 years ago. Abe is one of the hottest boutique cigar makers in the industry today, earning the number 10 spot on Cigar Aficionado's top 25 cigars of 2014 with the Abe Flores 1975 Serie Privada. Abe and his team use Cuban blending traditions in a modern boutique Dominican factory. Smoke PDR cigars and cut, light, and taste what they love to do. M. Bombay cigars represent the most admired cigar culture of Cuba. They select the best of the best quality tobacco to use in the aging process. M. Bombay cigars are then rolled in Costa Rica by some of the most experienced cigar rollers, giving it a unique smoking experience. The band portrays the detailed and artistic nature of our small industry. Try the M. Bombay Casera, M. Bombay Mora, and the recently released M. Bombay Havana. M. Bombay cigars, where the cigar is a way of life. I love that I get to smoke cigars and call it work.
Hey, Paul.
What's going on, cigar newbie?
I'm halfway through this cigar you gave me, and I was wondering if I could put it out and save it for later.
No.
Well, I wanted to try the Liga Privada with the Connecticut wrapper, and I was wondering where I could get some of those.
Yeah, so those don't exist.
Well, I also have some of the cigars you gave me from before, and I was wondering if I could store them in my refrigerator.
Only if you're going to eat them.
Don't be like Mark. Subscribe to Stogie Geeks Shorts with Paul and Will, a 10-minute show about all things cigar smoking. We provide tips and tricks on humidification, cigar storage, mini reviews on select cigars, accessories, and more. Stogie Geeks Shorts is one-stop shopping for learning about which cigars to smoke and the right way to cut, light, and store your favorite stogies. You can watch Stogie Geeks Shorts on our YouTube channel or subscribe using your favorite podcast app. For all the latest episodes, visit stogieshorts.tv.
Hey, Paul, this cigar is awesome, and I wanted to share it with you, and I was going to cut it in half.
Oh, boy. You need to watch Stogie Geeks Shorts. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Stogie Geeks Show. I'm your host, Paul Asadorian, broadcasting from Villager North American Studios in Rhode Island. On the lines via Skype, Mr. Will Cooper. Welcome, Will.
Hey, greetings. And just if the folks could check the live stream, that would be great.
Yeah, our live stream server is it's very sick right now, Will. I attempted to fix her today. Her name's Gogo, by the way. And we attempted to fix Gogo. She needs some loving. She's not feeling the love lately. So bear with us. We will get it fixed, I promise.
Okay.
In studio, we'd like to welcome our very special guest. Emma Viktorsson is here with us. Emma, welcome.
Thank you so much. Hi, I'm so happy to be here again. And more than anything, I'm happy to be in studio.
Yes, you've
very exciting.
had a lot of fun since you've been here already.
Wonderful.
We haven't even started the show yet.
I know. I feel like we started 2-3 hours ago.
We did. We didn't start drinking 2 or 3 hours ago.
No.
Maybe an hour ago. Well, we made in Will, it's funny, they showed that clip in the beginning from when you and I did the drinks and the steaks and the cigars.
Yeah.
And the drink I made tonight it's like roughly the same recipe as that drink. It's because it's kind of like a Tom Collins. Yeah, well, it's lime instead of lemon.
I wouldn't know what Tom Collins is.
Tom Collins is usually gin, lemon juice, simple syrup, and then you stir that, and then you put seltzer water on top, which is essentially what we did with rum, right? We used lime juice, sugar syrup, We put bitters in this one though. That was different.
okay.
Yeah, we don't put bitters in a tonic. Well, I guess you could. And then we topped it with soda water. And Will, this drink is all. I was looking for a rum drink because I didn't have any ginger beer to make a dark and stormy, and I left my fresh mint at home to make mojitos. And so, like, you can't make those drinks without those ingredients. So I needed another rum drink. And it's very similar to the drink that Will and I had.
I can tell you, I love it.
It's really good, right?
I don't. I'm more like of a wine drinker, to be honest. So, and if I drink liquor, it is as a cocktail.
Yeah.
And this, I love this one. It's so smooth, very velvety, very sweet, but not overly sweet.
What was
like
the rum called?
It's fantastic.
Kruk brought the rum.
I don't
Thanks,
remember.
Kruk. Cheers to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Crook.
What was it? It was Papa's something.
I don't remember. And we didn't figure out where it's made either. It says
No.
bottled in Florida,
But we don't know where it comes
but
from.
we don't know where it comes from. But it's really okay. We don't know the name. We don't know where it comes from. But
It's good.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, so go buy some.
Good luck finding it.
Papa's something.
That's Crook.
That's Kruk what it was. So, Will, we had this other interesting thing. The events, the way they unfolded were kind of funny. I forgot my handbag at home. No, Emma forgot her handbag at home. Oh, no, you changed bags.
You forgot your purse.
I forgot my purse. No, you changed bags.
I changed purse and
Yes.
I changed bag.
Oh.
in the last minute.
I see. So both things that you were.
So my
bags
credit
you were
card was in
carrying.
the other purse.
Yeah.
So I didn't have my credit card with me.
It makes it difficult to travel.
And the other bag had my goodie bag with cigars. So we don't have any Freyja nor Señorial here. And because Paul smoked them all,
We did. We smoked them all in the studio.
which is very sweet and a very good sign. And, well, this is not interesting, but my good shoes were in the other bag too. But
See,
it's
I wore
okay.
My, I wore
You
my
don't
good
see
shoes.
my
You can see
shoes,
my,
so it's
You
okay.
can kind of see my shoes. I wore my nice shoes. Do these shoes look okay? They're not Uggs, Will.
Thank God.
But Will has a Freyja,
Yeah. What are you smoking, Will?
I'm smoking a new Freya Brox press.
the Mjolnir, Thor's
Yep.
hammer. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't going to try to pronounce it. I figured you could do that, but
In English, you'd say Mjolnir.
you're
Thor's hammer. That sounds good to
It's
me.
got some
Yeah.
pop. Emma, this has got some pop right out of the gate.
Yes, the box press was definitely a big hit on that blend. It still has the flavors and the complexity, that bit of creamy sweetness in the finish. It still has the bit of spice. It really has, if you think about it, it really has the same profile, but it has, like you say, a bigger pop to it. And that is, in this case, definitely thanks to the box press. And the way Hochi does the box press in Tabaco de la Palma is very interesting. He presses them a couple of times in different ways. He has a classic box press mold.
Sorry, I asked on my shoes.
The shoes.
Sorry, I burned my ankle too. Sorry.
This is all going to be about shoes. That's okay for me.
It's okay.
I don't
You
know
were
for
saying
anyone else. It's probably not
you were saying
interesting.
Hochi does the box press differently because I
That's
can't wait to try the box
well,
press.
maybe
anyway.
not differently, because I'm not going to pretend to have seen all the factories out there.
Mm-hmm.
But he presses them a few times. So he has the mold, the box press with the box press mold, which most factories, I would say all factories now have. And then he does something which it looks primitive, but it works so well. When they're still in the mold, then he just piles on a bunch of bricks on top, like cement on top of it, and just leaves it there for a certain amount of time, depending on the blend, depending on the size, of course. So I'm not going to say it's because of how he does it. It's the best. No, of course not. All box press are fantastic. I'm smoking a box press right now, which is absolutely fantastic, and which I can talk about afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the conclusion of this is the box press, this really tight box press on this Freyja blend, which is already very has a lot of complexity and flavorful and a good body to it to begin with. The box press does have an extra kick to it, and the strength automatically went up a notch. And there's not more ligero to it. There's not more visos. It is the same amount of, because very often when you change SKUs, you have to tweak the proportion of the primings. You know, more ligero, more seco, less seco, and so on and so on. The Freyja box press is actually just continued with the same, but the Vitula really brought up the strength a notch, and it has that boom to it.
Thanks.
So it's interesting to hear Will feel it.
Yeah.
Sorry. So what? No, we lit up other cigars this
Yeah.
evening.
I chose a La Flor Dominicana. I have not tried this before. It's a La Flor Dominicana, a TAA Maduro.
It's the one from this year.
It's box press, speaking of which. And I'm barely an inch in, and immediately I can say the same thing as Will said. It has like a pop immediately
Yeah,
to it.
that's a pretty strong
You feel
blend.
the flavor right away. You don't have to wait for it. It's right there. It's very flavorful. I feel like a bit of dark chocolate to it. Definitely a full body as body. When I say full body, it does not mean strength-wise. Of course.
Yeah, that's not an over-the-top strength in
no.
that cigar. Yeah, but it's got a lot of. You're right.
A lot of
it's
Alfredo Dominicano are very full bodied. They're known for that. But this does not have the overly strength. Absolutely not. It's a great body, and the burn is fantastic. I don't know if you like. I'm sitting
Have
like
you had the
so much smoke.
Have you had the Lennox?
No, I don't think so actually.
If you like that one, you'll like the Lennox because they're kind of. I don't want to say they're not the same cigar, but they're in that same wheelhouse. Well, I don't know if you felt that when you smoked the. Have you smoked that Maduro TAA that I sent you? And you smoked Lennox, right?
Yeah, there's that's the special one. That was the celebration one.
Correct.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so there is some Lennox type qualities to it, I would say.
I'm definitely gonna try that. I like the LFDs in general, and this one was very interesting to try, and so much smoke to it is.
It does. Yeah, it does. It does pour smoke.
It's fantastic.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
As evidenced by the box, there was like one left, and we smoked through all of them. Well, Will had to review some, so I sent some to Will. I'm glad you got a chance to smoke that one, Will.
Yeah, it's a very, very good cigar.
Have you tried it, Paul?
Yes, I smoked a couple, 2 or 3 of those. Yeah, and I reviewed it on the show. I like it a lot. Yeah, thanks to John Carney.
And also in the
before
Retro Hill.
before the date, who sent them to us? We have to clarify there.
Hey,
No,
hey,
but-
Paul.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Will.
Paul, just I heard live streams up on YouTube, but not on the website. If that's anything.
Interesting. I lit up a God of Fire. This is the Series B. This is a Maduro, and it's in the Robusto size. So this is the 2011 Series B, and it is one of my favorites in the Prometheus God of Fire series that they do with Fuente. Is this like a collaboration between Prometheus and Fuente, Will? Is that kind of how? Because they're branded like Prometheus God of Fire oftentimes, right?
Yeah, I think it's more or less it's Fuente, and they did it for Prometheus, from what I understand.
Gotcha.
But I think there wasn't one done by Carlito, and then one was done by Carlos Sr.
It could be.
Yeah.
Could be. This one is just one of my favorites out of that whole line. I've smoked a ton of this one is just my favorite.
To be honest, out of that factory, I haven't had one that I don't like.
Yeah. Yes.
The Fuente factory is
Yes.
fantastic.
Especially
I mean,
when we talk about, we were at Steve Saka was in studio and we were talking about limited releases and things like that. The limited stuff or smaller, harder to find. I think it's limited, but you just got to know where to find it. Is really outstanding from Fuente, and I've over the years acquired a lot of different
like
things.
the Don
like that.
Carlos one.
Yeah, well, we smoked one earlier. What did we smoke earlier? That was a special one
Yeah.
that they released last December.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was one
That
of
was
the,
the Don-
it was
it was
one
the
of the Don, it was one of the Don Carlos.
One of the
ones,
Don Carloses, I can't remember. It was the one that they released late.
They're always
last
fantastic.
December.
Yeah, that's the one I had before.
Yeah. So since we didn't have other things to smoke, Will, from the Freya line, we just decided to raid my humidor, which is turning out pretty good. I'm kind of.
I'm sorry I took your.
No, that's fine. That's fine. It's good. It's good.
I didn't know there was only 2 cigars in the box. I promise. I just saw the box. I'm like, I'd like that.
Oh, so we wanted to get caught up on some of the new cigars that we were talking before the show.
Yes.
You've got several new lines. I don't know if there's the Box Plus was a line extension, but you've also got 3 new
lines
lines
coming out.
Yeah.
They technically came out, but we say, like you said, limited, like very hard to find. In this case, I would say very hard to find. These are 3 new lines that are going to come out in bigger quantities now very shortly. Shortly this year, within fall, we're going to come out with Señorial Connecticut. it's Dandy Corona. Oh, the names.
Oh, those are the sizes in the.
Because I love the whole name thing.
Yes. We're going to talk about the name thing, which is interesting.
Yeah, that's right. Let me tell you the blend first. Now we're talking about tobacco. So Señorial Connecticut, it's a Connecticut Ecuador wrapper. Our favorite Connecticut, especially José Blanco's favorite Connecticut, is the one grown in Ecuador. It's a Piloto Cubano binder, and the filler is Criollo 98 and Piloto Cubano, all Dominican. So that's the blend of the Señorial Connecticut, which is going to come out now.
Hang on one
anytime.
second. Hey, Riley, my chat isn't open, but it looks like you've got your streams crossed. Like in the movie Ghostbusters, they cross the streams. It might be the Security Weekly stream that's actually streaming on the website or something. So
I'm sorry, I don't really understand.
That's okay. If you go to stogiegeeks.com/live, it's not working. If you guys could take a look at that. Sorry, continue.
Oh, yeah,
so
no,
Connecticut, you're talking about the sizes.
Señorial Connecticut, yeah. And the sizes of the Señorial.
Oh, wait, so
it's called Señorial Connecticut.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is in the Freya line? Is this?
No, this is Señorial.
Oh, okay.
This is José's line, Señorial.
Okay, gotcha.
Because Las
Wait,
Cumbres
who?
Tabaco.
Jose who? I think I've heard.
I don't know if you heard him.
I think I've heard some people talk about him.
José Blanco, Blanco.
Yeah, I think sort of rings a bell. Anyway.
Because in Las Cumbres Tabaco we have separated. So José has his line, which is everything Señorial,
right.
and I have my line, which is everything Freyja. We have not come out with any new names. The new names are depending on the wrapper, depending on the SKU, and the vitula, right? The sizes. So now we talk about José Blanco's Señorial line. So we have the classic Señorial that came out in 2014. We have the Señorial Maduro. So the classic Señorial, has a Habano Ecuador wrapper, and we have the Señorial Maduro with the Mexican San Andres wrapper that came out 2015, and that just came out right before the show and at the show, but very limited, like we said. But that it's not a limited edition. So I don't like to say limited. It's a normal edition. It's going to be out there. It's going to stay out there. So right now it's hard to find. But they're coming out in larger quantities now, any moment, now in fall. So that's the Señorial Connecticut. So in case we kind of forgot the blend, so I have Connecticut Ecuador wrapper, Dominican Piloto Cubano binder, and Criollo 98, and Piloto Cubano Dominican filler.
Emma, that Piloto Cubano, that's like Jose's, I want to say that's his like staple. He has
his
that
go-to.
Yeah.
We love Piloto Cubano, and I think we are very happy with where Hochi grows a lot of his Piloto Cubano. A lot of it is grown in La Canela farm in Santiago, Dominican Republic, and that farm has fantastic tobacco. And I'm smoking a La Flor right now, a Dominicana, and Lito Gomez has La Canela farm,
right,
as well. So that farm actually does give a lot of good tobaccos, and the Piloto Cubano there is. I'm not saying it's better than others, but we personally love it very, very much, and especially when it gets a good age to it.
Absolutely.
So we do use it a lot. That is true.
That's true. And then there's two other Freyas coming out, correct?
Okay, so the first I'm going to get to the four sizes of
the
Señorial Connecticut. Yeah, because we got off track with a whole bunch of things. So it's a Corona, a Robusto, a Toro, and a 6x60. So it's very classic, and I wanted to keep the names English because I love to play with names, and I want everything Señorial to represent José. And José being Dominican and Señorial being a Spanish name, I wanted everything to be very Spanish, right? And to fit the name Señorial, lordly, right? For Connecticut, I chose English names because it represents the Connecticut seed.
Yeah.
Right?
No, that makes sense. So and it's way easier for us to pronounce, which is awesome. I love that.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I have not made it easy in any way. It's been Spanish and Swedish or Scandinavian. I know. So it's a Dandy Corona. It's a lustrous Robusto, a glossy Toro, and an Ariete 6x60. Everything is all like golden, lustrous, glossy Arietes, like which English to represent the Connecticut seed, and and all those shiny names to represent the shine of the Connecticut shade wrappers.
Nice. I can't wait to smoke. I mean, I love to smoke Connecticut cigars, and I think it's we were talking before the show. I think it's one of those wrappers that are kind of overlooked. And I think you're right. The majority of people that smoke Connecticut's aren't like talking about them on social media. There's people that like, I'm going golfing, I'm going to go get a mild Connecticut cigar. But what I think a lot of the aficionados are missing are the nuances in all of these new Connecticut's coming out. And I encourage people every week to try them. And I certainly have some of my favorites. So, but I smoke them all.
Well, there's a what we spoke about earlier as well. I think. Because social media right now is so big. We spoke a bit about that too. It's a bit of out of hand as well, to be honest. Social media right now is just so out there in so many different ways. And the Connecticut, especially the Connecticut shade wrappers, they've been used so much in the past. And it's kind of like a classic. And the people who really post on social media, they want to post what's fun and new because that's just a state of mind. That's not how it should be. It should be like you post whatever you like, not what's going to be fun to look at, if you ask me. But that's kind of a bit how it is, you know? It's a bit what's hip and what's not hip to post.
Right.
Whereas Connecticut sells it like crazy. So that shows clearly that no matter how social media looks so extremely active, I mean, Facebook is like bah, 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 all the time, Twitter, Instagram. But if you really look at it, the majority of smokers are not posting. We don't see them. Because, I mean, if you do the math of the number of premium cigars smoked, for example, in the U.S., which is like 300 million. It's almost as many people as...
I see numbers from 2% to many as 5%. I think it depends on... It depends. I mean, it sounds funny, but it depends on how you count them, right?
And
what qualifies as a cigar, and that whole thing.
Qualifies as premium and yada, yada, And internationally, same thing. It's growing a lot, and it's hard to separate right now what's premium, what's not, because it's. And so Connecticut sells extremely much. You just don't see it on social media. You know that if you're a manufacturer, you know it because you see your numbers.
Yeah, because your average person, like I said, just they're grabbing a cigar for golf or for a bachelor party or whatever the occasion, and. Most people that are buying cigars in that number and that quantity, right, are probably giving them to or sharing them with people who aren't traditional cigar smokers. And I think the retailers largely, and I mean, because where else would you put them really, have driven them towards Connecticut because it's not going to make them sick with nicotine. It's not going to be, an overpowering experience on their palate. They've never had a cigar before, and you light up that La Flor Dominicana, you're going to be like, wow, oh my God,
It's true.
But
also, I'm sorry, before you continue, because I want to get into that little subject of body and strength. The majority of, this is a big misconception that I've seen about new smokers being afraid of Maduro. Maduro is not stronger.
No, because
it's a fermentation process that gives its color, and it brings out flavor more than anything. And same thing with, you can have a Connecticut shade wrapper, but you don't know what's in the filler. It could have like a load of Ligero in that filler. You could have like a load of Nicaraguan Ligero in it, and it will be full-bodied in strength.
Yeah. Which
is masked by this shiny, beautiful Connecticut wrapper. So there's so much complexity in blending, and I think Connecticut shade wrappers do get overlooked also because of that, because it is seen like it's a mild. Some people want mild, some people don't, but it's like you don't know if it's mild or not,
Well, I think for me it's kind of like beer. And remember I was explaining to you on our security show for like 8 years, we pretty much every Thursday we did our security show, we drank beer. And what I began to realize is that it's the very similar thing with cigars.
Yeah.
So you can have a beer that is very light in color, but if it's a Belgian beer, it's got a lot of body to it and a lot of flavor. And if you hand that to someone who drinks Bud Light, they're like, oh, it's light. And they take a sip and they're like, oh my God, it just overwhelms their palate, right? And then you have people who are like, oh, I don't like dark beer. But a Guinness might be very thick, but it's very smooth. It doesn't have a lot of body to it. It doesn't have a lot of bite to it, a lot of punch. It's actually a very smooth beer. It's just very heavy. So I think that the consumers in both of these industries are somewhat confused by their experiences with these different products that you can't go by color, right? You have to understand what's in. I'm sure wines are the same way as well.
I also compare, because I don't know beer very well, so I find it very interesting too. Because I'm one of those idiots who are going to think that Guinness is stronger. So I'm sitting here quietly, like, yeah.
There are some like imperial stuff.
That does make sense. Something that's extremely powerful in flavor could still be mild in strength. I mean, or vice versa. You know, it's very full-bodied in strength. Here's something also that we spoke about last year was the word body. Body does not necessarily mean strength. Body could mean just the body of the cigar, the complexity, the flavor, and the strength all put together. Whereas, so that's why I always say if a cigar is full-bodied but not full-bodied in strength, or this is medium to full in strength, but it's a full-body cigar. And a lot of people get confused. And it is confusing. I hope that we're going to come up with another name for it so that we can make it more clear.
Food is the same way, and people are very particular with the types of food that they eat. But whenever someone tries new food, I think you wouldn't give a child like a really spicy dish to start with, or something that's really bold in flavor like that, right? Kids, what do kids? I mean, you have a son, right? I have kids. I mean, they like to eat like chicken nuggets.
Boys.
Yeah, chicken nuggets and French fries, right? I mean, like going out of style.
Oh, they love that.
Yeah.
And pasta with nothing.
Right. But if you made like a sesame beef or something like that's too, because there's like a lot of flavor going on, and I think your palate has to adjust to that too. So
I mean, I like to play with food and play with spices. I love it, and of course for Jasper, my son, who's turning 4 in November, I don't want to make it spicy, but I use a lot of spices that just bring flavor without making it hot. Yeah. You know? But still, you're right. It can be overpowering. Like if I cook like the Asian style egg noodles, and then I put a bunch of Asian flavorful ingredients in it, but that's not hot. He's still, and I fool him. I tell him it's spaghetti. Yeah. And he's like, he's not fooled, you know.
No, yeah. No, my wife, because my wife doesn't like sesame oil. She doesn't like that heavy flavor. So like, she's like, no, don't use that. So I use lighter ingredients.
Oh, you cook? Oh, that's nice.
I do, yeah. HelloFresh is awesome, by the way. The meal, any of the meal plan, like Blue Apron, we do one of those too. I won't say which one. I'll leave everyone guessing so they're not getting a free plug on the show. But they have these meal plans where basically they send you all the ingredients and they send you the exact amounts and they give you a recipe and you cook it. It's awesome. It's awesome. Saves a lot of time. Anyway, what I was going to say about coffee too is when people start out drinking coffee, they'll typically put a lot of cream and sugar to mask the bold flavors of the coffee. And a lot of people over time, right, will slowly start putting less and less of that in until they can drink black coffee, right? I think in a lot of us, I went through that progression probably sooner than some people.
But then like again, coffee. The same thing with like cigar blending. If you take a very, very strong like espresso, like a ristretto type of espresso, and then you put milk and sugar in it, but then you have a mild American-style black coffee. The black coffee is still going to be strong, milder. Same thing with cigars and wrappers and what you see, what you don't see. It's all the and so last year, the same way that you speak about beer, I talk about wine. You can have a very full-bodied red wine, and you can have a crispy, dry white wine. But you can look at the alcohol content, which would be the strength. Yes. Right. The white wine could have like 13.5, while the red one could have 12. You know, maybe not. I'm not a connoisseur, but you see those differences, and that's again the difference between strength and body and strength, body and flavor, body.
Right. That's a good example.
Yeah. So that's why I like to, like I said, hopefully someone in the industry can come up with the new words.
Will. So sorry, Will. Did you have more questions for Emma along those lines?
The Señorial Connecticut. We didn't come further than that because then we spoke about so many other things.
I got one more question on the Connecticut. From talking to people, I hear that Connecticut is the hardest cigar to blend. Would you concur with that?
I'm going to be very honest with you. I cannot give a proper answer to that.
Okay, That's fine.
Because it's like I said before, when I blended Freyja, I wanted to do it on my own together, not on my own alone, but together with the production manager in order to really get my style out. And I don't call I'm not a blender. I don't even use the master word. I'm definitely not. We're gonna see in the new lines coming up if I can blend or not, if we're just a first time luck. And I have never blended myself with Connecticut. The Freyja lines I'm gonna tell you about later. The new ones. One is with the Havana Ecuador, and one is with Connecticut broadleaf. So I have not blended yet with a Connecticut shade. But it does make sense that it could be hard to blend. I would say maybe because, like Paul said. No matter the body, the full body, the strength, and the filler, it is true that a typical Connecticut will not overpower. But you still want to keep that flavor. You want to feel that flavor, and you don't want it to be. You don't want the filler to be bland.
Right. Yeah.
So I understand that it should be. Yeah, I understand as I'm talking. I'm getting my
you can
thoughts.
overpower the wrapper pretty easily.
Yeah. So you don't want to overpower the wrapper. But you also don't want the filler to be bland. So that would be my guess. If any real master blender would correct me, I would definitely want to learn.
From a smoker's perspective, I think that's absolutely true. And I've actually had Connecticut's where I thought it lost something because the filler took over that wrapper. And I didn't get that smoothiness, creaminess, right, Will, that you can taste some Connecticut's like that. And I think that's really just... I think it's playing to the market, which is fine. If you want to smoke Connecticut and you want to taste more of that filler tobacco rather than the wrapper, you want a little more punch from, but you still want to say you're smoking a Connecticut, I think it's just playing to the market. That's fine.
Or the other way around. If you're a real, genuine Connecticut wrapper lover, you want to feel that Connecticut, but you still want to feel the body to it.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Well, then this is the other way where it's very airy. They don't put enough punch in the filler. And it's very airy.
It goes both ways, yeah.
Where I like to land is somewhere in between. And that I think what Will's speaking to is that getting that balance and getting it somewhere in the middle is very. In the Connecticut's that I love the most, strike that balance right in the middle.
Well, so actually through this discussion, I think we kind of found an answer.
There you go. So then you've got Maduro in the Freyja coming, because you have a Maduro in the Seniorial, right?
I'm going to talk about the other Freyja that comes out first because the Maduro is going to take time to come out in the bigger quantities, we'll get to that. The Freyja that's coming out, which is also going to come out more or less in the same time as the Seniorial Connecticut, which is going to come out now in fall any time. It's a one size edition. It's not a limited edition. It's a normal edition. It's going to keep going. It's called Freyja 12, which represents my 12 years working in the specific premium cigar industry, working in it.
I won't tell my joke on air. We were poking fun at you, Jose.
I didn't even get that. I did not even get that.
Oh, before I said the 12 must come from the age at which Jose acts normally, and that's why he called it the. Oh no! Did I say I was not going to tell?
You
I lied.
That's right.
Okay, I got to ask one question here. Emma, the beard on Jose is become viral.
Oh my God.
Did you sign off on the beard?
No.
Most significant others don't like the beard.
I don't like it.
I grew a ridiculous beard, and my wife was not a big fan.
No. This is not going to sound good. Maybe I've been busy with Jasper. Jasper, summer, he's on in preschool, so I'm very busy with my kids. So.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even notice.
My wife didn't either.
Jasper noticed it.
Yeah.
Jasper said, "Daddy, you look dirty. You have to be clean, Daddy."
Well, you know what's funny?
And I was like, "Oh my God,
when I shaved my beard, I just shaved. I didn't tell anyone I just shaved it, and then I was walking around the house, and no one said anything for hours. And finally, I'm like, "Is no one gonna say anything?" My wife's like, "What?"
Okay, so I don't feel bad anymore. I'm not the only one.
No. She was like, "Oh yeah, it looks better."
No, so then we decided to take a picture for fun because it looks. Oh my God, it doesn't look good. And for the photo, I don't know how to say it. There's just nothing else to say about that beard. and Jose said something so silly, but it came out, from his real heart and thoughts. He's like, "Does my hair look good?" I was like, not gonna see your hair.
No one's looking at your hair. We're all looking at your beard.
Yeah. And
I think every
It
guy.
looks horrible.
Every guy goes through at least a couple of phases throughout their life.
My dad
where
did it.
They feel like they need to grow a beard or a mustache or goatee.
My dad
I've
did
done
it a few
all.
years ago.
I've done all three, and then
You did the goatee.
I did the goatee, and then I used to do the mustache. Well, we did it for Movember, and I grew a mustache. And let me tell you, being a cigar smoker and having a mustache, I don't know how you guys do it because I almost lit myself on fire like so many times. It was. And
I did not see that coming.
I looked like a Mexican drug lord. This is really the best way to describe it.
my
I
God.
showed up to a Christmas party because it was Movember. So the thing is, you clean shave in the beginning of November, and at the end of November, you take pictures along the way and you raise money for men's cancer health. That's Movember. So in December, we were going. I left the mustache thinking it looked good, and I went to a party, and like my friends were laughing. They're like, "What is that on your face?"
What's that on your face? Yeah, that's a good way
Yeah,
to put it.
exactly.
I don't know why
So-
men go through that.
I don't know because we
My
can't.
dad had José's type of beer. It was a few years ago. He was out
Didn't
at
like
sea
that one
and
either.
just everyone else loved it.
You weren't a fan.
I don't know. He wasn't dad. I guess it's like dad.
Yeah,
It's like you
yeah.
know, you just have to what you're used to. But no, so José said that meant like a joke, but some people take it seriously. Some people see it as a joke, which it is. He said that he's gonna let the beard grow until the FDA has finally come up with a good decision. For
Oh
us.
no, it's gonna be a long beard.
That's what people said. They're gonna trip over it.
Yeah. So the Duck Dynasty pictures started coming up after that.
I didn't know Dynasty. I saw that. I'm like, I have
Duck
to look it up.
Dynasty, It's a
Yeah,
show.
it's a show
Yeah.
here. Yeah,
Well, someone did put up photos, and I was like, oh my god, that's what they're talking about. No.
that's kind of what my friend Jack Daniel looks like one of the guys
Yeah?
from Duck Dynasty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your friend Jack Daniel. Oh, that's so cool.
That actually is his name. He's been on
name.
the show before, actually.
Cool.
And he's a big guy. Yep.
So,
Oh yeah, that's right. So we're at Freya 12. We're talking
Freya
about Freya 12. Yeah,
yeah.
that's right. So,
So
yeah,
did you
because
change-
we got off track with the number 12. So the 12 represents my 12 years of actually working
And it's a
inside
totally new blend.
in the industry. It's a completely different blend.
Okay.
Nothing to do with the Freya whatsoever. But like I said, in Las Cumbres Tabaco, because we are literally two people, so we keep two names. Señorial for José, Freya
Right.
for me, and then we just play with the second name of
Right.
the SKU. So the 12 is my 12 years working in the premium cigar industry, and it's a one size. It's a one size box with 12 cigars in the box, $12 MSRP, and so everything goes around the number 12, and it's a 7x52 Churchill.
Nice. Wow, so it's a fatter Churchill.
Yeah, it's a bit of a it's a big Churchill, it's a fatter Churchill, and it's a Habana Ecuador wrapper. It's a Corojo, Dominican Corojo binder, and the filler is full Dominican, but it has It has Corojo, Piloto Cubano, and Criollo 98. Full Dominican, but 3 seeds filler.
Nice.
And it is what we see in the factory. Hochi and the guy I blend with, the production manager Geraldito Perez and Jose and me. For us, this is the most full body in strength, the strongest as strength cigar of Las Cumbres Tabaco thus far. And
Nice.
yeah, and it comes with a pigtail.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a Freya 12, a box of 12 cigars in a tray. And it's called Brisingamen. Brisingamen is Freya's, her necklace is called Brisingamen, and that is, according to Norse mythology, her main power. So it was very fitting to...
Yes,
to
nicely
this-
packaged, nicely
to
named.
this, like,
I
this
can't
little-
pronounce it, but no, it's okay. I can't pronounce anything, so
Brisingamen.
I'm going to call it the Freya 12.
Brisingamen. Yeah. And the color of the Freya is a glossy electric blue. So it has so I changed the color with it. Oh, and by the way, the color of the Señorial Connecticut box is a completely natural box. No lacquer. What's it called?
Like lacquer,
Yeah,
like a shiny finish, yeah.
Yeah, it's a completely natural box, which I also think fits the Connecticut wrapper pretty well. So the Freya 12 has this electric blue box, very well shined.
Nice.
And
Packaging is important. I mean, we've talked about with other, folks who make cigars. Standing out on the shelf is important. So, and the impression of the cigar, the first impression people get is when they visually look at the cigar. So the packaging, while we know, we all want to hear about how the cigar smokes, and of course that's the most important thing, right? But you first have to entice someone to smoke it, and it has to fit in the right mindset. So the Freya 12 having the nice shiny box, right? It's going to stand on the shelf. But if someone is a Connecticut smoker or is going to smoke a Connecticut, they might be looking for a more rustic kind of cigar,
True.
So that definitely fits.
And also the size is important, especially when you play with designs like I love to do, like I love to use oil paintings. I want it to show. So the same way as the classic Freyja, which is a 21 box count, but it's 3 lines of 7. The classic Freyja I'm talking about. So it fits in, if it fits into the humidor, so that the retailers don't have to just take off the back of the box, which has the actual design in it, So it fits right in, and the Freya 12 does too. It's 2 lines of 6, so it's this tiny little delicate box, but it just pops. And also the design is the same oil painting, but played with the colors. It doesn't have that brown. Where the Viking ships come, the Viking fleet. That's all electric blue as well.
That's awesome.
So it is poppy.
No, that's not. I like the size. I think people can sometimes be put off by size. Too small, too big. And what we say on the show is you got to smoke the cigar in different sizes and not be afraid to smoke a smaller size or a larger size. Like you have to be able to try everything.
It's very important.
Something we haven't really hit on the show recently, but. With all these new releases, primarily because of FDA, right? There's, all kinds of different sizes, and it's exciting for me to be able to try all the different sizes. And I think it's important that people are like, no, I only smoke Robustos. Like, no, you have to branch out.
Well, I agree with people who only smoke Robusto, only smoke this, or only smoke that, as long as they've tried the other ones, so that you prefer something because of you like how it draws, you like how it smokes. You like how much filler versus wrapper versus filler you feel. And that all plays into it. And I think that the only way to know your favorite size is if you have actually smoked the other sizes.
Right.
And then you can choose. And speaking of sizes, I also like to play with sizes a lot too. So if we think about Señorial, the classic Señorial has 6 sizes, 6 SKUs. So that kind of really embodies, it goes from a 38 Lancero to a 6x6 and everything in between. And then we go to Señorial Maduro, which was a really large size, hefty line.
Yeah, there was a lot of larger ring.
Lonsdale, Robusto, Toro, and 6x60. So when we came out with the box press, we discussed, and I said, you have to have a more delicate size in there. So we discussed, and we said, what, let's make the box press just a 5-inch Robusto. Keep the box press delicate instead, which is not very usual actually. But that was
usually you see at least a Toro in a box press.
because in Señorial Maduro it came out with this hefty line of large ring gauges, and the box press is the more delicate one. So that you can feel the different ring gauges within that line. And Freyja was the other way around, because Freyja being my first own brand, I wanted the first Freyja release in 2015 to reflect me. So it was a classic Corona of 42, and the largest I did was Toro, because in the 4th size I didn't go 6x6. In the 4th size I went pyramid. Remember, a 52 ring gauge pyramid, which actually grows thinner and thinner, and the classic round pyramid, right? Yep. So everything was very delicate. So whereas the Freyja box press, the Mjölnir, which is Thor's hammer, I played with the name too. That was fun. It's a Toro box press. The one Will is smoking. So if you see Will smoked, yeah, exactly. You smoked a lot of it already.
It's very good. It's very good.
So while Freyja was more delicate, it came out with this hefty box press. So it went the other way around. And that's in order to try different ring gauges in the same blend, and that's very interesting.
And then you have a Maduro coming out in the Freya line, so which I think is a nice complement to both of your lines. And now you have a Maduro. And so? How is the Maduro's different?
Well, the blend is completely different.
Are the wrappers different, or is it still okay?
the Señorial blends and the Freyja blends are completely different. And that's also why, like I mentioned last year, I did not want to even tell Jose or Hochi, Jose's cousin owner of Tabacalera Palma, I didn't even want them to know that I was working on my own blend because I wanted to see if I can work on a blend to begin with. If I could not work on a blend, I wouldn't have done it. It wouldn't have come out. I would just have stayed backstage for Señorial, So I worked with Geraldito Perez on the factory floor. And that's why they're so different, because I discovered my own style. And that's, and my style is mine, and Jose's is his. And whereas if I would have included Jose and or Hochi in it, without wanting it, they would have influenced the blend. So first of all, I wouldn't have seen if I can blend. I wouldn't have seen what my style is, because that would automatically happen. So that's probably also very much why they're so different. So the Maduro, the Maduro goes along with the Freyja, with the Freyja style and the Freyja profile. So the Freya Maduro is, I'm sorry, I'm not calling it Maduro, playing with names again, it's called Freya Nocturno.
Excellent.
Yeah, representing the Freyja.
Because I can pronounce that.
You can. Please say it.
Nocturnal.
Oh, God.
Did I say it right?
Well.
Yeah, but I've seen the Vitola names for this one. Those were challenging names.
Well, everything has a meaning. I love this stuff. What do you want to hear first? The meaning or the blend?
We were on the blend. Why don't we go with the blend
Let's
first?
go with the blend first. I think that makes sense too.
Yeah.
So the Freya Maduro, with the Freya Nocturno, it's a Connecticut broadleaf wrapper, which is one of my absolutely favorite wrappers out there. It's not necessarily my favorite Maduro wrapper. It's one of my favorite wrappers altogether. I love Connecticut broadleaf.
Too.
So it's a Connecticut broadleaf wrapper. Which I still keep the Mexican San Andres binder. And the filler is Piloto Cubano and Criollo 98 Dominican. I tossed out the Nicaragua Esteli filler. I love it, but it just became too noisy, because the Connecticut broadleaf wrapper and the Mexican San Andres binder, that's already
lot going
very
on there.
rich.
Yeah.
And I wanted, like we spoke about before, what do you want? Do you want to feel the wrapper? Yes, in this case, I really want to feel the wrapper. So I toned down the filler a little bit. Not in strength. The priming still has the Piloto Cubano Ligero, the Piloto Cubano Seco, which is good for the draw, of course, and the Criollo 98 comes in Viso, so it still has that full that body in body in the strength, but to tone down the noisiness in the filler to give more. Yeah, I mean to let this beautiful Connecticut broadleaf be the star.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what are the sizes?
So the sizes are, it's a Lonsdale. The Lonsdale is called Yggdrasil. Yggdrasil is...
You're not going to make me say
I know,
that,
I see you look at me.
I want to see Paul spell that.
Yeah. You know the first letter.
I'll just hold up my phone with you voice to text when Emma says it. How's that?
Oh my God, subtitles?
Yeah, subtitles.
Oh my God. Emma's back, we need to subtitle her. So Yggdrasil is the main tree of the 9 worlds of Norse mythology, and that's the tree that you see on the Freyja box.
I was going to say that.
Oh,
No.
you were, I believed you. You should just have kept. You should have left it at that. And so that's an Yggdrasil Lonsdale, and it's a Midgård Robusto, Midgård or Midgard, if you want to pronounce it.
That's
easier.
probably how I'd pronounce it. Probably no R in there, but because the Rhode Island,
No, there is an R. Midgård.
Yeah, but in Rhode Island we don't
It's
say
written Midgård, but you don't say R. You say R.
we don't say the
Midgård.
R's in Rhode Island.
Oh, you
we
don't?
Say, yeah, it's like the national god. That's how we say it. I'm serious. That's our accent.
That is
we
true.
get made fun. Yeah, if you notice it when you've been around here in Rhode Island, nobody says an R.
Before I have been
Look
to
for
Rhode
it.
Island,
Look for it.
well, before I haven't been here ever, I have seen Family Guy.
Look for it. Yeah, like we parked the car in the yard.
Like Peter Griffin.
Yes, exactly. Well, that was filmed in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Well, fictitiously filmed, but yeah.
Yes. Okay, so joke aside, so Midgård is where we live. That's the human beings, the humans' world. That's the Robusto. And then it's a toro called Vanaheim Toro, and that's Vanaheim is a Freyja's. I would say it's Freyja's world. It's her heavenly hall, and that's the toro. And the 6x60 is Asgård. Asgård is.
That was in Thor, the movie.
Yeah.
That's their planet they live on,
That's
right? Isn't it?
Well. Well.
See, now we're talking Marvel comics, and I'm a nerd, so now I can latch on to that.
No. Okay, well, now I have to get into that. Okay, so the Yggdrasil tree, the top of the tree is all the worlds of the gods. Mm-hmm. And the middle, the trunk, where I just put in the name Freyja, which is just actually just a trunk, that's Midgård, that's our world. And what's underneath is all the bad stuff, that the bad guys, if we talk about comics, yeah. Which the top part of the tree, the gods, they protect us, Midgård, from
the bad guys. Like Loki. Yeah, he was the bad guy in Thor. Did you not see the movie Thor? You haven't seen the movie Thor?
I have. It's so silly.
Well, of course it is. It's a movie.
Yes. And then, so the 6x60 is Asgård because that is the main heavenly hall. That's Odin, the main god Odin. Because Thor is not
Son
the main
of
god.
Odin,
You know that,
right,
yeah,
yes.
that's right. You know Odin is the main
I saw
god.
the movie. I'm with you now.
I'm
with you now.
I know, yeah. You've seen the
I can follow
American
you now.
Marvel
Yes,
movie. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, there you go. So that fits the 6x60. And then, so what do we say? The Lonsdale, the Robusto, the Toro, the 6x60, and then it's a box press. And the box press is Bifrost, whatever you want to call it.
Gotcha.
That is, that's that rainbow bridge. You've seen that in the Marvel movie.
Yeah.
The rainbow
when they go
bridge.
off to the machine that sends them to different worlds. Yeah.
The rainbow bridge that goes from Midgård to the gods.
And
it's hard to stay serious. I'm sorry.
And that was Frostbite? No.
Bifrost.
Yes, what she said.
So again, we play. Here we play with the sizes. So we went from Lonsdale, Robusto, Toro, 6x60, and in the Freya Maduro, the Freya Nocturnal's case of box press, it's this small little 5-inch Robusto size.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So again, we have like the hefty sizes and a smaller box press versus the more delicate sizes with the large box press. So I play a lot with the sizes because the blend it does make a difference. Just like Will said today when he's smoking the Freya box press.
Absolutely. Yeah, we in reviewing cigars for so many years, we've really come to appreciate how differently the different sizes smoke, and we usually find the ones we like. And I don't know. A lot of times we agree. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we'll have a favorite size, and I'll have a different favorite size. Mm-hmm. But a lot
That's
of
how it should be.
A lot of times we do agree that like this was the size, and sometimes I think the blend just comes together in a particular size better than others for us that like really analyze the cigar.
Absolutely.
Because then we talk to other people and they're like, no, I like this size better or that size better, and that's the way it should be. There's a size for everyone that fits their palate.
Totally.
Yeah, we've always said, Emma, don't dismiss the line if you've only smoked one size.
Exactly.
Yes, I find people doing that, and I shame them for it. Like,
it changes so much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the whole proportion of wrapper versus a filler, and sometimes the binder too. Like in Freya's case, the binder being a Mexican San Andres gives a lot of flavor to it because the binder is very often, like we spoke about as well last year. It's like the binder very often is you tweak in the end, like find the binder that's going to fit this filler. And it's going to fit this wrapper and kind of make it go together because the binder really is there to bind the filler together. That's why it's called a binder. Mm-hmm. And the binder is very important for the draw. I mean, the draw of the cigar relies very much on the binder, the quality of the binder, the priming of the binder, depending on the blend. Whereas in Freya and Whereas in Freyja, I blended very much around this Mexican San Andres binder, which already gives a lot of flavor to it, and hence, like we spoke about before, keeps the binder is at a seco priming, because Mexican San Andres is quite robust to begin with.
Will, we're coming up on an hour. I just want to take a short break. Emma's still going to be here. We're going to cut to Debonair Ideal. We're going to talk about naming cigars, which is going to be a lot of fun, and then we're going to review a bunch of cigars.
Sorry, just one more thing about Freya Nocturno. So, Freya Nocturno is going to come, like I said, now it's out there, but very hard to find. It's hence not limited. It's just hard to find at this moment. We have been in a rush, indeed, lately.
Yes.
All of the whole industry. We know why. So Freya Nocturno will come out in larger quantities a bit later. I cannot put a date to it because I don't want to hurry it. Connecticut broadleaf needs a lot of work on it. It needs a lot of aging.
Extra time.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
And together with this Mexican San Andres binder, we really have to age a lot. Age the tobacco more, age the cigars more. So that's why Centennial Connecticut and Freya 12 are going to come out very soon in larger quantities, whereas Freya Nocturnal in large quantities will come out somewhat later.
Okay.
Because I want the cigar to be ready. I don't just want to throw it out there for everyone to in large quantities for people to buy. No, I want smokers to enjoy the cigar.
Excuse me. Excellent. So we're going to take a short break. Come back and do our Debonair Ideal segment for this evening. Stay tuned.